Our headlines today. More disruption could be on the way for schools and parents as head teachers in England are to be balloted on strike action.
The ceasefire in Sudan is extended for another 3 days. Efforts continue to get British nationals out of the country.
New guidance for grassroots sports. Anyone suspected of concussion must be taken off and rested for at least 24 hours.
Good morning. Record rents as average monthly payments hit a new high. I'll be looking at why and whether there's an end in sight to rising housing costs.
Good morning. Newcastle are edging closer to the Champions League with a win at Goodison Park that leaves Everton deep in relegation trouble.
Starting with the fact that 4 care workers in the UK have been found guilty of mistreating patients at a specialist hospital for people with learning disabilities and autism in County Durham. The case resulted from a 2019 undercover investigation by BBC Panorama, which showed some staff mocking, taunting and swearing at patients at Walton Hall Hospital. 5 care staff were cleared of wrongdoing. Teachers in England have been on strike for the 4th time this year as the pay dispute between the National Education Union and the government continues. Today's industrial action affected thousands of schools. Meanwhile, the FA Cup final and the Eurovision Song Contest could both be affected by new strike dates announced by 2 rail unions. Elsewhere, a judge has ruled that the next strike in England by nurses over the bank holiday weekend has to be cut short by a day. A judge is to decide whether phone hacking claims brought by Hugh Grant and Prince Harry against a newspaper publisher can go to trial after a 3-day hearing concluded. News group Newspapers is trying to have their claims thrown out. If it were to go ahead, it's likely to be next year.
The papers now. The Times is leading with the government announcing tougher gambling restrictions, highlighting the fact that under 25s will be treated very differently from older age groups.
Let's have a look at the Daily Mirror, splashing on a striking image of a grandmother caring for a hungry great-grandson in East Africa with the headline, "Please help us." The paper says the region is in the grip of the worst drought since the 1984 famine.
The Metro is leading with train drivers' union ASLEF announcing a strike on the day of the FA Cup final at Wembley. The headline says, "We've done the Cup."
And the Daily Mail is one of several papers to run an image of the Princess of Wales abseiling down a cliff in the Brecon Beacons. And one of those action-packed shots.
No.
Seems to have done it very well.
It's got a different name now, hasn't it, Charlie? Ban Brick I Knock, I think.
That's it?
I think so. The headline there, Her Royal Highness.
Let's have a look at this morning's front pages. The Eye reports that NHS doctors are stranded in the conflict in Sudan because they don't have UK citizenship and have been refused help getting airlifted. The Guardian leads with a warning from the Chief Inspector of Constabulary that Scotland Yard could be failing to spot serial killers because it isn't properly investigating unexpected deaths. The Mirror's front page graphically illustrates the effects on people from the drought in East Africa with the headline, "Please help us." The Times leads with the latest crackdown on gambling, which is aimed at saving young people from addiction. Adio, we've done the Cup. That is how the Metro reports train drivers are to strike on the very day the 2 big Manchester football clubs descend on Wembley for the FA Cup final on June the 3rd. The FT today leads with news that Tory Eurosceptics are angry with the government plan to abandon a review of all EU laws currently on the UK's statute book. And the Telegraph speaks to Baroness Floella Benjamin about the coronation and her role in it, which she says proves the King embraces diversity. Right, if you want to see any of those front pages again, or indeed read the stories, then do scan the QR code on your screen.